In this video, we're going to check the positive static pressure in the supply air. So when the air comes out of the air handler, it's going to go up through the air conditioning coil and into the supply trunk line and into the supply runs. And there's a total static pressure, positive static pressure for the supply, just as there is for the return. So let me show you where I've got this probe. Now you should have seen this probe last time I did total static pressure. It's right at the outlet of the furnace, and it is right now, with only that one hooked up, we should be reading the total static pressure of the supply system. That's the total resistance to flow of the entire supply system. Let's look at what that is. Okay, we're looking at 0.26 inches water column, total static, positive. Now, I'm going to show you where the next probe has been placed. I'm going to actually test this pressure drop across the air conditioning coil. Now, this is one of the problems we run into when we do this. Air conditioning coils, you know, the fins are close together, they tend to get full of dirt. Yes, it's downstream of the filter, that should never happen. Yeah, right. Air gets past all filters and they will get plugged up. It's just worse if you don't have a filter. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, there you can see that second probe. Now when I plug in the hose from that second probe, there's going to be a change in the pressure read, and it's just going to read the pressure difference across this coil. Okay, it's showing 0.26. Now, with that hose hooked up, we're now sitting at 0.16. So what we've got is a pressure drop across the coil, 0.16. Now that's well within specs. I'll accept 2/10 of an inch, sometimes 3/10 of an inch across these things, depending on fan speed and coil size. But 2 or 3/10 is probably fine. The next thing I want to test is the pressure drop across the supply air. Now this is supply, this is one of the supplies. There's two supplies in this thing. So really all I'm going to check here is, if you look closer, you can see I've got the probe over there on the right on one side of that T, and I'm going to just check across that T to see if there's any restriction there. And if you notice on the upper part of the picture, there is a hole right there, and I'll put the probe in there and we'll see if there's any difference across there. Now you can see I have the two probes in there, one of them downstream of the air conditioning coil and one of them right after the T. So let's see if we have any pressure drop across that T. Now you can see I'm running 0.01, very small drop. Now understand, we don't have a lot of pressure drop in the supply at all. If I disconnect the probe downstream of the T, you can see my total static on this whole thing is 0.08. So once I've gotten past that coil, I've got a very low static pressure, and I've lost 1/100ths going across that T. So there's really no sense in going farther in looking at the supply, because really it is very, very low. But what we can do is we can look at the other side and see if there's any problem. Now I want to note that there isn't much here, so I'm probably not going to find anything in the other side either. It's very low, but we'll check it anyway. Now here I'm set up on the other trunk line, and we're looking at the pressure in that other supply. And remember, we didn't have a whole lot to start with, so let's see what drop there is across that T for this other trunk line. Okay, looking at the pressure drop across the T on this side, it's pretty much 0. Now remember, there's only like 1/10 of an inch water column total pressure in this entire duct system. So it's not very big, so there's not a whole lot of loss in this. This is not where our problem lies. If I had a high pressure drop in the supply, I'd be looking for some kind of blockages. But if I kind of overall look at this whole system, the biggest problem in this system is the return is rather long and has a fair amount of resistance in it. The supply has virtually nothing. Okay, in the next video, I'm going to talk a little more about what other problems could come about with pressure in ductwork systems.